Hi, I'm Naveen Day. This is Forum Daily West. Here are some of the top stories we've been following. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre vows to use the notwithstanding clause to ensure multiple murderers die in prison. Plus, the Alberta government announced $100 million in funding for the University of Alberta's Biological Sciences building. Fires in West Lethbridge cause $1.75 million in damage and destroy 2 homes. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Naveen Day, filling in for Jeanette Roche.
Hello and welcome to On 2nd Street. Today we're going to have a big discussion about healthcare. We've got a federal election on right now. We've got a healthcare system that's in crisis. We've also got the federal government tinkering around with some of the healthcare products that you may depend on. So we're going to talk about those 2 topics today. And joining me to talk about this is Nadeem Esmail. He is a senior fellow with the Fraser Institute focusing in on healthcare policy. Nadeem, thanks for coming on the show again to talk about healthcare. Always appreciate chatting with you on this topic.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Buck Stops Here. I am Catherine Murray. Well, we are witnessing the market in a significant downturn today. The Dow is down by about 1,500 points. We are filming on April the 3rd. This is the day after the Trump tariff rollout, where I think even though there's continued uncertainty, there's perhaps expectations of some certainty. And in fact, we perhaps got some tariffs that were more than expected. Some strategists out there saying it's worse than the worst case scenario. And so that's why we're seeing the markets continue to decline. But let's get some perspective here from a very seasoned money manager. And that, of course, is Ian Schaefer. He's the president, CIO, and portfolio manager at Gallant Capital. Ian, great to have you here with us and to provide some perspective.
This is Counterpoint, and I'm your host, Tanya Granic Allen. Canada's underfunding of defense has been a growing concern for many years, with the country consistently falling short of NATO's recommended defense spending target of 2% of GDP. Despite being a member of the alliance, Canada has faced criticism for not adequately investing in its military, which has left the Canadian forces under-equipped and under-resourced.
Welcome to Canadian Innovators, the show that celebrates innovation, entrepreneurs, and the Canadian spirit. My name is Catherine Swift, and every week we introduce a new entrepreneur or expert on a relevant business topic to tell their stories and address the challenges of keeping jobs in Canada and potential solutions for job growth and prosperity. Today we'll be discussing the Canadian policy of supply management in the dairy and poultry industry.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum, where all voices matter. It's a pleasure to have with us return guest Francis Bradley, who is the CEO and president of Electricity Canada. We will discuss the essential role that the electricity industry plays in our way of life. Welcome back to Boom and Bust.
Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. On one of our previous episodes of Empowered, we talked about the importance of healthy teeth and a healthy mouth. April is Dental Health Month. It would be prudent to continue the conversation about the connection between a healthy mouth and a healthy body.
Many people have tried to incorporate blockchain technology into Hollywood, with mixed results so far. Today's guest, Peter Antico, has some ideas that could make a difference. Peter, welcome to Open Source.
How are you today?
I'm good. Look, I'm excited to do this episode because I know that you've been in Hollywood for decades. You're very, very experienced. You know, you've been doing stuff with SAG and...
Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Stephen LeDrew. We are in the midst of a national election campaign, and many people don't know it. Why? Well, I hear from people in the street, they say, well, you know, nothing's very exciting about it. And so we have two partisans here right now.
Welcome to Canadian Justice. I'm Christine Van Gyn, and today we're talking about in vitro fertilization, surrogacy, and the laws surrounding fertility in Canada. Thousands of Canadian families seek help every year with fertility treatments. Across the country, there are 35 fertility clinics that perform roughly 20,000 cycles of fertility treatment each year. Good evening. I'm Teresa Skubik, and this is Forum Daily for Tuesday, April 15th. And tonight we start with the leader of the Liberal Party, who, while in Quebec, said that his government will launch a new benefit for mid-career workers in specific sectors.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Forum Focus. On tonight's show, we are talking about the implications of tariffs, specifically retaliatory tariffs, which on the election campaign trail, you've certainly heard Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre proposing really in an effort to hit back against President Donald Trump. Some economists, though, fear that retaliatory tariffs are likely to cause further economic downturn, of course, in addition to what we're already seeing. There's also a number of provincial mayors from right across the province who are sounding the alarm at
Tonight, we're tackling a story that's been simmering underneath the surface of Canadian life. One that affects our streets, our government, and the security of our nation, yet rarely makes headlines in the news the way that it should. It's about China, a country we often see as a distant trade partner, a place that makes our phones and buys our canola. But the truth is, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a much bigger story below the surface.
What if the vitamins, herbal supplements, and natural health products you rely on suddenly disappeared or became so expensive they were inaccessible? This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's a real possibility with the introduction of the self-care framework.
Somebody call the firefighters because Canada's agricultural industry is being put into a fire by not only one, but two countries. This is a hot topic, and I'm excited to talk about it. Not only may we be hit...
Welcome to Opinionated. My name is Anthony Fiore, and you're stuck with me for the next half hour. And there's a federal election going on, and the only way that I ever find out is because everybody on my Facebook feed is either working for the CBC or Rebel News. And if you've been watching the polls lately, this is coming down to an election between, well, you guessed it, the Liberal.
I'm Teresa Skupik for Forum Daily's Week in Review. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he will, quote, bring justice back to the criminal justice system. He says that his Conservatives would reverse a Supreme Court decision that found it was unconstitutional to sentence people to consecutive life sentences.